was that experience like for you working with him?
Yeah, it was awesome. He can catch, and he's the type of catcher you want to throw to also because he likes to talk and think the game and that kind of thing. And so it was just a learning experience for both of us, which is nice because we could kind of accelerate the process that for a lot of people would start now, but we got to do it earlier in the off season.
Paul, do you feel like you had a pretty good head start on what you're experiencing now? Like not only LSU, I know you guys did things in a very advanced way, but getting a taste of it last year. Like how much do you feel like that stuff prepared you for right now?
Yeah, I mean, as I went through the off season, it was and look back on the previous season, it was so nice to have the experience in pro ball and get used to the routine and the differences that are just in pro ball versus college baseball. Obviously, LSU was kind of the peak of it, I think, in terms of college baseball, but being able to throw in pro ball and that kind of thing, I was really lucky for. So it gave me a really good plan going into the off season and heading into camp that we were able to execute really well over the off season.
Oh, you had talked that you had a lot more pitches in your repertoire than you'd really have been able to show in college. How much did last year in the minors and this offseason give you a chance to work on developing some of the pitches that you really didn't get to throw?
Yeah, the nice thing about facing better hitters is like you have to use tools to beat them. And it was just kind of how it was in college where I couldn't throw the sinker and I couldn't throw the changeup sometimes and I couldn't throw the curveball sometimes. Yeah, the plan now is to use all 5 pitches, and that was the focus of the offseason, is just being comfortable with all of them.
Do you come here trying to win a spot at the big league club, or are you just getting your feet wet a little more, or how do you look at this?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. Just being my first spring training, I think it is going to be valuable to get used to it. I just have to. With that said, I'm obviously trying to win a spot, but it's not all in my control. The only thing I can do is go out and pitch well and do my work, and it'll all take care of itself.
Is there anything you learned about routine or just being able to be that guy every 5th day instead of once a week? And that taste of pro ball last year.
Yeah, I talked to some people over the off season. In my experience, I don't know if it's easier or harder with a 5 or 6 day rotation as opposed to a 7 day.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing is I get to compete more often, which is fun. I think it's just different, and you can't get away with as much, I feel like, and you have to show up every day. So having a really good routine is super important. So more than anything, I think that's what I learned.
What do you kind of look most looking forward to here? What just to get started here with spring training?
Yeah, just learning. And getting better with a group of guys. It was nice to have the off season and get some good work in on my own. But I think there is something valuable to being on a team and getting to work with the same guys every day. You got a lot of really good guys with a cool pedigree in the major leagues that hopefully I'm gonna pick their brains on, and so I'm just looking forward to that.
You may have been asked this, but speaking of pedigree, you and Henry are both #1 overall picks, and pitcher catcher's first day, quite the battery. What's that like to come in here with you guys being so high profile?
It's cool, but I don't think we're the only ones either. In terms of being high profile, we got a lot of really talented players here that they all have something to offer in terms of knowledge and bits and pieces that I can take from them and that they can hopefully take from me. So it's as cool as it is to be here with Henry, there are a lot of other cool guys to be here with also.
What's your approach for that kind of stuff, Paul? Like older guys with experience. Like I'm sure you want to learn from them. Are you kind of like trying to not be annoying, or?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to come out guns blazing for sure. Yeah, I think just being here and building. I don't know the word, but building respect. Yeah, or whatever you want to call it. Just building the relationship first is the biggest thing, and then getting to where it's not just like me taking, but hopefully we get something out of each other, and that's the goal.
Being labeled the top pitching prospect in baseball, is that something you embrace, or do you kind of block it out? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's kind of just words. Because the bottom line, I have to go out there and prove it. And you know, it's cool to have other people think that, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about executing and winning baseball games. So probably a little bit of both. I think it's not something. You know, that kind of thing is not something that you should like shy away from by any stretch, just because, you know, denying it can probably give you some other issues. But you know, at the end of the day, it's about pitching well.
Where do you work out in the off season, Paul? Was it
All over the place.
all over the place?
Yeah, I was at LSU for part of it. I was down here, and I was at the University of Georgia, and I went home.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I was all over the place a little bit, visiting different coaches.
Was